Okay, so we've talked about in the past how important the fundraiser is to the Mishkan, not just obviously because you need funds, but because it was what highlighted the investment that the Jews had, in all senses of that word, in the Mishkan. In Pekudei, you see this even more, where we talk almost obsessively about how much money it is that we actually collected. Right, you get that, 3-4 psukim in, right, Kol Zava, Sur Lamelacha, Melchom Lach HaKodesh, V'Yizava Tenufa, Teisha V'Esrim Kikar, Shvamiyot Shloshim Shekel B'Shekel HaKodesh, V'Gesem Gudei Adam Me'at Kikar, V'Elef V'Shvamiyot V'Chamishim V'Shivim Shekel B'Shekel HaKodesh, Bekel HaGolgoled Machzeh Shekel B'Shekel HaKodesh, Chol V'Erav Gudim V'Nashim Shanava Malav Sheish Me'ot, Elef V'Shloshim Alfim V'Chamesh Me'ot V'Chameshim, and it goes on, right, we keep counting, all the silver, all the gold that we have in the Mishkan. Now, it seems to be though that it's more than just the fact that we want to talk about the importance of the Jews being invested. And this makes even more sense for Rashi than it does for the Ramban. But even for the Ramban, this makes sense. But according to Rashi, what was the purpose of the Mishkan?
As a way to connect to Hashem, as a kapara for the Egel.
Right, as a kapara for the Egel. And according to the Ramban, that's not the case, but it still is true. This is after the Egel, and it's part of the rebuilding the relationship process, even if that wasn't the only reason that we have the Mishkan. But what was the perhaps one of the biggest problems in the Egel, in addition to the fact that they did it, right, was the amount that they raised for it, right? Meaning right? There's always true in both directions. What?
They were all quick to give their
right. Rashi picks up on this, right? That in Pshat they ask for the right. He asks the wives and kids to give their gold, and then they end up giving their own gold. But whether or not you take Rashi's nuanced read there or not, the point is that they're raising a tremendous amount of gold in a very, very short period of time, which is an expression of their investment lira in the Egel. So Yoshi Farajun points out that it may be, and I think he's right, that part of the obsessive counting of this and the discussion of this is kapara, right, which we have in Kitisa already, right, which we read last week again in Shkolim, the notion that the Machta Shekel at some level is a kapara, right? In what sense is a kapara, right? And he said very simply, right, in a very midah kinegami is the wrong word, in a real kapara sense, right, is that it's not just important for the Jews to invest because we want them to invest in the Mishkan. If the Mishkan is either primarily or also a way of being mechaber for the Egel, then they're going to have to show the same type of investment for God that they did for the Egel. And since there is such a centrality to the raising of the gold in a quick period of time in the Egel, so that's why the Torah goes on in Vayakel about how the same fervor that they collected for the Egel they collect here, right? So much so that Moshe has to say it's enough. Right, and to show the importance of it, we go through this detail, right, and do this detailed accounting because it really is that important. And to be fair, right, it's not just regular gold, but we see that just like with the Egel, they're collecting their jewelry, right. There's that emphasis here as well, right? They're not just collecting random jewelry. It's they go through all the different. Not just random gold. They go through all the jewelry that they collect, which does seem to show this reflection. Okay, we have to do this announcement. So that was a